Development of economy is not just about money, machines or few good policies. It is all about real people and making their lives lead in a better way. Hello everyone. Hope all of you are awesome, great and healthy. Today we have all gathered here in Soundarya Institute of Management and Science to discuss about a very important topic and a topic which has become the talk of the town today. And that topic is Atmanirbhar Bharat realistic? And to speak on this topic, we have three awesome panelists today. Now, why is this topic is that we have chosen today? The reason is very simple. India is the 5th largest economy in the world. In the mid of its journey of reaching the $5 trillion economy, our Honorable Financial Minister, Mrs. Nirmala Sitharaman, has announced a 20 trillion rupees relief fund under Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. So to give me the correct answer for this question, at the same time to give a broader perspective of is this Atmanirbhar Bharat realistic, as I told you, we have 4 awesome panelists today, starting with Ganachari, who heads the Department of English at Soundarya Institute of Management and Science and is also a social activist who tweets for each and every social cause that's happening on a daily basis. Then we have Mr. Lokesh, Assistant Professor in Department of Commerce. He is not only Assistant Professor but also an entrepreneur, at the same time a motivational speaker. Then we have Mr. Girish, who heads the Department of Business Administration and who is also a spokesperson in lot of many international and national events. Now, let us start this event by asking you people to tell out your opening remarks for this topic. Is Atmanirbhar Bharat realistic? Starting with Lokesh sir.
Yes, very good morning all of you. Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan Yojana announced by Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman and her 5 trenches. The first one is the poor, including the farmers, MSMEs, growths, reforms. So this, this 20 lakh stimulus package, definitely it's not an eyewash package. Really, it will help directly to the farmers. It's support to the farmers in the form of liquidity. And this 20 lakh stimulus budget will always help for, the 2020, and it includes the land, labors, liquidity, and it helps to the business entrepreneurs, small scale, medium scale, and even migrant laborers also. Definitely, I hope it will very good for our Indians. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the opening remarks, sir. Can I have the opening remarks from Mr. Ganachari, sir?
Yes, Atmanirbhar Bharat is one of the good initiations of the Government of India under the leadership of Modi ji. And the leaders should always have a vision. This vision I always compare to the economic reforms which was happened in India in 1991, which was a landmark decision. And after 1991 economic reform, this is one of the major decisions the Government of India has taken. I'm sure this initiation will give a lot of yields in upcoming days. But I'm not saying this Atmanirbhar Bharat is only focusing for a temporary, but it is more on visionistic approach rather than the temporary solution.
Wonderful, sir. Great insight. Now can we have the opening remarks from Mr. Girish?
Namaste all. In extension of my co-panelist Mr. Ganachari sir's speech, in last 4 decades, India has seen 3 greatest economic crises. Definitely after the Cold War in 1988, India has seen a greatest economical crunch. During that time, to come out of that economical crunch, India adopted one policy called LPG. It has opened the doors for many of the global companies to establish in India. And the second crunch, that is in 2007-2008, where many of the countries of the world suffered from unemployment problems, where India has given lot of economical aids, especially for the industrial sector by means of giving away the loans. The third economic crunch that the entire world is facing, that is now the present scenario. I can't say this particular Atmanirbhar Bharat packages will help the realistically, because if a children is hungry, the parents usually give the food, not the loans. That is the scenario that we are in. Many of the people, they are in need of money, not the hopeful packages. As name suggests, stimulus is a supporting aid, encouraging factor. It encourages the people to grow more, but they have to live in present. So in that way, I don't think this particular Atmanirbhar Bharat scheme announced by the finance minister, to some extent, up to the extent of 8 lakh crores, there is a direct package, which is giveaway policies. And remaining 12 lakh crores, it is just a loan mela. It's the biggest loan mela that government has announced. That is my first view.
Wonderful, sir. A completely different perspective is what he has given us, for us and all the viewers who are watching this video live. Now, sir, when it comes to Ganachari, sir, you have told that this is a vision or a vision-oriented one, but not a practically, presently cannot fulfill the requirements. Could you please expand more on that, sir, so that all our viewers can be even enlightened with your knowledge?
See, what I always feel in the sense, economic investment or whatever we invest in terms of getting yields, you cannot expect abruptly. See, how we are speaking in the sense, as I said in my opening remarks, 1991 is one of the landmark initiations, what one of my co-panelists, Dr. Girish sir, was pointing out, that LP, the liberalization, globalization and privatization. See, 1991 remarks is now giving a wonderful yields, and this is one of the reasons why you also pointed out India is one of the 5th largest economic country in the world. That 5th because of the initiations what the former Prime Minister and Finance Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh had taken. That is the next level that the present Prime Minister is taking this initiation. This is number one. The second one, in the sense, I said vision is a very, very important when it comes. I know it is just a supporting for the financial aspect for aid to survive for the present people, but to survive, to sustain, money is one of the key aspects. Unless and until without the financial support, either the small scale industry or the retail businessman cannot survive. It is nothing but, I would say in the other sense, it is a building confidence or building capacity among the industrialists or a migrants or the laborers.
Extracting a question from him, I would like to ask the question for Mr. Girish. Are these packages not putting money in people's hand?
There are two things which we need to observe. If you look at this particular package of around 21 lakh crores, around 12 lakh crores are just giving away the loans. I do agree, most of the packages are not giveaway packages. If you see the packages given by many of the countries of the world, I can categorize it into 3 parts. Developing countries, developed countries, and underdeveloped countries. Usually the packages announced by the countries ranges between 1% to 10%. That is the normal range. Usually the developing countries will give away between 5 to 10%, whereas the underdeveloped countries will give away just 1%. But India being a developing country, it is the highest package that India has announced. Hats off to our Modi for visualistic package which he has announced. But the most important thing is, we should always analyze the economy in 2 aspects. One is the demand aspect, another one is the supply aspect. No doubt, this particular package gives more emphasis for developing supply, but not the demand, because if you observe the last 3 months statistics, literally the demand, barring FMCGs I'm speaking, in automobile industry it is 0, tourism industry it is 0, hospital industry it is 0. Then, if you comes to any other power industry and some other industries, literally the demand is ranges between only 10 to 20%. Unless you create the demand, there is no value for supply at all. Then one more very important thing is, to create the demand, liquidity is very, very important. If you don't have money, you will not have any purchasing power at all. If you don't have purchasing power, there is no meaning in production of so many products and supplying to the market. So this is my view.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely, that was a common man's idea is what I definitely feel, and a lot of viewers are also seeing this would have also felt what our Mr. Girish has expressed. To add upon more on this, as you told, there were a lot of industries which really were dead in the past 3-4 months during the pandemic. There was one industry at the same time which was required by every individual, that was the agricultural industry. What insights do you want to give on this agriculture industry and this packages on agriculture industry, sir?
Yes, absolutely. The Modi government, the Prime Minister of India, has given a wonderful package for the agriculture sector. Let me say a few examples. More than 1 lakh crore rupees has allotted for the agricultural infrastructure fund. It will help for the agricultural products, and we don't have much cold storage capacities, and that's why right now we have only the CWC, KSWC, like Central Warehouse Corporations and Karnataka State Warehouse Corporations. Apart from that, Modi government has given the more importance for agricultural products logistics, and it directly support to the farmers. This is the one thing which I would like to tell you. And the second one is more than 20,000 crore rupees allotted like fishery department, right? It will help for the fisheries inland, through the PMMSY, Pradhana Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana. Through that they have allotted more than 20,000 crore. It's not a small amount. It will help to the fishery department. And more than 13,343 crore rupees allotted for animal husbandry disease. See, in this pandemic, Modi government really has given the more importance for animals. See, it's for not only for the cattle, buffalo, it also for the pig and any other animals also comes under this package. And really, this package will help lot to the farmers. And main is the very important aspect. It creates the liquidity direct support to the farmers. This is what I would like to tell you. Apart from that, many schemes they have allotted for the farmers, but which I would like to tell you this is the things.
Thank you very much, sir. So in the past 2 times, Mr. Ganachari, sir, in the past 2 times when you spoke, you were in the intention of comparing the previous stimulus packages that were given in 1991 and present one. Do you feel there is a much of difference what has happened before and now, sir?
See, I do not believe in comparison, but the present stimulus package of 20 lakh crore, 97,053 things, but when it comes to 1991, it was a totally tremendous decisions taken by the previous government. Why I say that was the base. See, in economy, to building economy, base is very, very important. Even based on that, the recently Goldman Sachs, one of the greatest financial the institutions in US, has made a survey. By 2035, India will emerge as the 3rd largest economy in the world. First China, followed by US and India. See, therefore, in the present pandemic crisis, what one of my the co-panelist Professor Girish was pointing out, again I reiterate, it is just a financial support to the people to sustain the crisis. And to sustain the crisis is nothing but to build the confidence. Once it sets the confidence so that it can create a conducive environment. In addition to that, in the present package, what it reiterates, what it supports, making India self-reliant. What we are discussing, Atmanirbhar Bharat. It is nothing but the entire globe is moving towards the self-reliant. Though India is the fastest developing country, but focusing on be vocal and local is nothing but producing the local things, exploring the nativity, and the present stimulus package is only a support, but 91 decision was a reformation.
Thank you, sir. That was a really required talk, which will definitely be helpful for all the viewers today. Now, sir, I would like to ask Mr. Girish about 2 things. One is related to the EPF. The reason why I'm asking this question to you is, you have a commerce background. Now, how this EPF is really affecting all the public. At the same time, can you please give us more light upon the Jandan 500 rupees relief package which has been announced?
See, as I explained earlier, liquidity position of the people are very, very important for the development of any country because it directly relates to their purchasing power. This EPF scheme, around 24,000 crores, whatever is keep it away by the government for this amount, it's a wonderful move. According to me, it's a great move because when I went through the particular package initially, I thought there are a lot of twists and turns are there. But as I went through the scenario in depth, most of the countries in India are micro and small industries, where the number of people working definitely is less than 100, and their average wage is around 12,000. Average wage is around 12,000. So such kind of around 30 to 40% people are there. This EPF scheme, next to 3 months, the government is going to bear the EPF amount of these particular people. That increases the liquidity level of the employees. The take home salary will be definitely increased, so that it indirectly motivate them to buy more. That increases the demand. This is one factor. Second one, again, TDS and TCS. But my worry is definitely these are all the schemes wonderful for salaried employees. But in India, main employment providers are the agricultural sector. For them, these kinds of schemes will not help them.
Thank you very much, sir. Because you mentioned agricultural scheme, I've also heard that in this scheme, every farmer is going to get 2,000 rupees as a relief package with the help of this Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. And what is your insight on that, sir?
Yeah, definitely when the government is ready to give the money and in the liquidity, definitely it is helpful for the farmers. Because the farmers in a year they may get liquidity on the season base. For example, in the rainy season they can grow, sowing the seeds, whatever that. After 6 months they will get the liquidity. But when the government is providing this type of liquidity fund directly to the farmers, definitely it will help to the farmers to enhance and build their opportunities also. This is the one thing. And one more I forgot to tell you, more than in this budget, 3 crore farmers with agricultural loans of rupees 4.22 lakh crore avoid the loan in this 3 months pandemic. So obviously this government, in this stimulus 20 lakh crore project definitely help in directly or indirectly to the farmers and others also.
Thank you very much, sir. Ganachari, sir. Being an individual, what take do you take from this Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan, sir?
Okay.
As an individual.
Okay. What one of my panelists was pointing out, that for migrant labours, if you see, government has extended the financial support total 3,700 crores. But out of it, 3,700 crores, on an average, according to the government statistical data, 8 crores migrant labours are there. See, if you calculate the 3,700 crores in 8 crore migrants, approximately for 2 months, government has given only 3,700 rupees per labour. See, which is not possible, which is always, if you see the financial issue in the sense here, for this I am not completely satisfied for the decision. When it comes to my, out of it, I would take the initiating for self-reliant India. And initiating self-reliant India, the creating ambience, atmosphere to invite for investment purpose sake, and subsequently increasing the FDI and even defense purpose, and defense and science and technology research, I think it will take India the marching ahead in the days to come. As I said in one of my remarks, in the opening remarks, that you cannot expect the abrupt response or a yield in a short period, but I am sure what the government has created in ambience in upcoming days, it will give wonderful aids to build India in a better way. And another thing, some economists or some people are even talking that comparatively the other countries, India has announced very less. You see, US has announced this stimulus package of 225 lakh crores. See, you cannot compare US to Indian economy because it is except the Fed Reserve amount. And the Indian economy is totally completely correctly linked to the RBI. Therefore, I would say in upcoming days, I'm sure that what Goldman Sachs has pointed out, that India will become one of the most powerful countries in terms of economy and self-reliance.
Thank you very much, sir. Sir, speaking of individuals, under this package, sir, for all the women who have Jan Dhan accounts, there's also a 500 rupees which is created for 3 to 6 months for the liquidity enhancement of women. What is your insight of that, sir? Is that 500 rupees enough? Or giving that 500 rupees, is it more? Is it useful? How can we get the benefit of it?
Sir, actually, let me be frank with this. Most of the schemes announced in this particular stimulus package is just an extension of already announcement made in budget. The 500 rupees Jan Dhan account giveaway policies are 2,000 to the farmer. Two things we need to observe here. We are all speaking in one point of view. The other phase of this particular package is whatever the 20 lakh 93,000, that is 21 lakh, around 21 lakh crores, we should not forget one thing, that is the entire revenue of this country as projected in the budget for 2021. The entire budget revenue. We should not forget that. Simply if you are expecting only giveaways, free amounts, it won't serve the purpose. It won't serve the purpose. But one thing we should bear in mind, if you want to do something to the people, do it when they are alive. Do it when they are alive. See, next 2 months I will give 500 rupees. And I will tell you one more thing. This is not the entire packages in India for this pandemic. As per my predictions are concerned, there are still more to come. Definitely there are still more to come. But this 500 rupees immensely helping the people right now. Definitely it's really helping them because central government is giving the food completely free. This 500 rupees is an extra expenditure that these people has to bear. But please bear one thing, if you keep on giving the amounts freely, it will ruin the economy one day.
Thank you very much for increasing our hopes in getting more packages from our government of India. Keeping in that mind, sir, Mr. Ganachari, sir, there's also an update saying that whatever package or whatever benefit any individual or any company or any SMSs are getting, they get it not in their hands but in a registered account where every relief package is attached to a bank account where you do not get physical cash in your hand. What is your insight on that, sir? Is it not making the things more difficult?
No, it's not a question of difficult. Through who are legally registered in terms of getting government scheme, government wants statistics because if somebody is not registered, if I am claiming the financial assistance from the government of India, it's totally unfair because you cannot expect accountability. See, government not only giving a stimulus package to the people of this country, they are also looking for an accountability. Therefore, nothing wrong, the expecting the amount, giving amount with the proper registrations and following the government instructions of government of India. Therefore, because public money is accountable and what they are all expecting.
Speaking to Lokesh sir, the entire topic of our topic today is Atmanirbhar Bharat realistic, sir? Is it realistically helping the farmers, sir? What do you feel about it, sir? Is that loans really getting to their hands? Is they really getting benefited with the help of this? Because, as the previous panelist rightly told, to make an accountability. When farmers are some people who are not that educated, and many farmers in India do not have even bank accounts. How are these amounts going to them? Do you have any insight on that? And how is it really helping those farmers?
No, definitely nowadays what you point out, not educated, I really not agree with that. See, nowadays India is becoming developing, so each and every rural people, they are educating and minimum qualifications what they have. Definitely they have aware about the accounts and all those things. Definitely they will accountable to the nation. When the nation deposits the money to the account, that will help to, what the Ganachari sir said, it's an accountability. That is the one thing what we are going to tell.
Thank you very much, sir. When it comes to Girish sir, you recently told about UPF where increase of liquidity and you also explained about the Jandan account, that 500 rupees package what we spoke, where increasing of liquidity. Now, the liquidity, even though we have money in our hands, there should also be a supply of goods. Only then the liquidity of our liquidity will be helpful. If one part of the nation, if the supply is completely down, only by increasing the liquidity, how is it even helpful, sir?
See, sir, I'll tell you one thing clearly. Liquidity is required not for luxurious goods. Liquidity is required for our daily needs. If there is a fight between lives and livelihood, people initially opted for lives, but that is not the case now. People are fighting for livelihood. To have a livelihood, instead of dying on starvation, better to work and better to attacked by corona and die. That is the people intending now. See, so supply is very, very important aspect. Demand and supply are two phases of the economy. Both should go hand in hand. If the demand is not there, supply is a waste. If the excessive demand is there and supply is not there, then country will not grow. Both we have to observe. But in this pandemic, though the government is giving away lot of loans and other supporting aids for MSMEs and other things, we take while to establish themselves. Till that, the supply is not possible. Supply is not possible. One more very, very important thing is our ecosystem, the Indians, the basic mentality of the Indians, we always rely on importing products rather than our own products. We are always questioning the quality of the products produced in India. So in that sense, if you observe in that sense, most of the suppliers are not in the position to produce such a qualitative products which can be compete with the global products. So in that way, even though we have a money, even though the supply is less in India, we are hoping that because we have already signed the variety of the international treaties, international products will come, people will spend.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Now I would like to ask each one of the panelists what you call as a different type of a question. That is, if you were in the place of the financial minister, what one package you would invent apart from this, or any package you would change which is already announced? Starting with Ganachari, sir.
See, I would focus more on in terms of investment in the retail. That's what I would say. The second, retail, because larger number is there in retail sector. Because if the retail sector strengthen, slowly the common man will survive, because liquidity always flow in the right directions. Once in the right direction flow, supply and time management will be more effective. The second, I would focus in the sense, I take initiations to strengthen further ambience for the investment of the industrialists. Because once we create an apt ambience, the industry will boost. Once industry will boost, automatically the employment generation will increase. This is what I always focus. The third, I would focus on the research, R&D, research and development. Why I always say research and development is very, very important. Take an example. Earlier, the N95 masks were not there. India was fully dependent on other countries. Now India is every day it is producing 2 lakhs. And the second thing, when it comes to a common mask, in a sense, still India was not that much of a self-reliant earlier. Now we are growing. This is how the initiations, innovative things should always happen. I think if you come across, the Atal tinkering, which is encouraging, government is investing on that, because the invention or the new thing should happen in R&D. R&D is nothing but it is one of the parts of education. I focus these aspects in the things.
You definitely proved to be a wonderful teacher with this statement, sir. Yes, sir. When it comes to Lokesh, sir, if you were in that place, what package or what changes you would have made, sir?
Well, actually the package which already announced, but instead of that, I want to go for some reforms, like in agricultural, essential commodities act that will that will help to the farmers to get the very good prices. When the farmers are happy, automatically the nation will happy. So this is the things what I am going to make it. That I will slightly change the amount on the commodities and it may be on a potato, tomato, or any pulses item, oil seeds, whatever that. Really, that will help to the farmers.
I would definitely want to rephrase again. If farmers are happy, the nation will be happy. It is one thing where I hope all the Indians will definitely agree on this statement. Now, when it comes to Girish sir, if you are in that position, what reforms or changes would you implement?
See, already India is a country which is having fiscal deficit. That is around 3.5% to 3.7%, it ranges between that. The biggest worry for me is, we are already in fiscal deficit. How do we mobilize the money? It is, I think we are in a scenario where we are in complete disarray. Where do we get the money? There are three options that the country can get the money. One is by raising the tax. I don't think it is impossible now. Second one, disinvestment in PSUs, public sector unions. Most of the public sector unions in India are already in a debt situation. They are already having a lot of loans. No investors will come trying to invest in PSUs. Third one, we can mobilize the funds in an international monetary fund or some other form. In this scenario, the money value is really coming down against the dollars. I don't think many of the countries will come front to lend the money to India. Rather, the people wanted to invest in India instead of lending the money. So if you observe that scenario, I think in near future, Atmanirbhar Bharat is not possible. In near future, it may be possible in a long run. And second one, if I were the finance minister or if I were the prime minister of India, I would look into only this particular scenario rather than futuristic aspects. Because we don't know when this particular pandemic is going to end. For next 6 months or next 7 months, it is only the giveaways, nothing else. There is no other options left out to us because, as sir told earlier, there are 12 crores people in India are considered unorganized sectors. They are not registered people. So if you keep on putting some policies to reach the money to them, I don't think it will work because Indian system is not a system which is completely into transferring money. I think it is a hasty decision this government has taken. If I were the finance minister, I would have waited for some more time. So initially when the pandemic attacked, immediately I would have announced some packages of free giveaway and I waited for some while to take future decisions.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your insight and your statistics for that. It was a really nice discussion with all three of you having different points of view and different insights on different various topics. I hope the same content was even helpful for all the viewers. Now, I would like to phrase our Prime Minister's self-reliant India's extraction. What I feel about that is, be local and make our products global. So finally, for all the viewers, it's time for all of us to identify ourselves, build ourselves, and be ourselves. Thank you for viewers and thank you for the panelists for spending your time. Thank you very much.